Hello, this is Photography Gamer. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing State of Decay 2 Juggernaut Edition for Microsoft Windows via Steam. The game is also available on the Xbox One. State of Decay 2 is an open world zombie survival game developed by Undead Labs. In State of Decay you take control of a group of survivors who have to work together to survive the zombie outbreak. The game features a new map with a fresh campaign, and the Juggernaut Edition also includes the Heartland and Daybreak DLCs. And the game can be played solo or online via a co-op system. So, what is the game like to play? Well, for the most part you'll be exploring the vast map, scavenging buildings for supplies and fighting off groups of the undead. You start with a small group, but over time you will expand and need to find a new location to accommodate your growing community. One thing that makes State of Decay different is that you can take control of any community member and go out on a mission or a supply run. The more you use one character, the more their stats will improve, and eventually those stats can be specialised. The zombie presence is always evolving, so you'll have to clear infestations, form alliances with other survivor groups and set up outposts out in the field. The game features base building, but it is fairly limited, as in you can choose what to build or how to customise it with mods, but nothing really that bespoke. A more robust and varied building system is something I think this game really does need in the next instalment, as you're just stuck with the generic options here. All of your community can be customised in terms of clothing that you'll find on your travels, and eventually you will have to designate a leader, who will be a warlord, a builder or a trader depending on how you want to run your community. And you can even exile characters if they are a bit disruptive. So one thing I would say about this series is it's fairly mundane at times. It's a very realistic representation of what it would be like in a zombie apocalypse, as in it's not a Hollywood movie with full non-stop action. Most of your time will be spent scavenging, collecting stuff, then returning home. And once you've done that 4 or 5 times in a row, it does get a little bit tedious, and I found this game was definitely best played in short 2-hour bursts, which does alleviate the boredom factor. This game adds some new features like the blood plague. This is spread via plague hearts that are spread around the map, and if your survivor breathes in the red spores they will get infected, but thankfully you can collect samples and make a cure to keep your community safe. Another change are the nights, which are much darker than before. Think Ark Survival of Old dark, as in you can't see a thing without your flashlight. It definitely makes it more tense in terms of the experience, but the day-night cycle is very slow, so the nights are very long, and wandering around in the dark for long periods does get a little bit boring after a while. The zombie variation includes the regular ones, ferals, screamers, exploding ones, and the devastating juggernauts. The ranged combat is good as usual, but I found that the melee combat can be a bit of an issue, especially when you're in enclosed environments and the camera is a real mess. The Permadeath System returns, which means anytime you die, that survivor is dead. They're not coming back, they're not respawning, goodbye. It's one of the best features of State of Decay, and to be honest, until you've lost a community member, this game might feel fairly generic. Like, I chose a character called Thurston, who was this tough military guy. I leveled him up in all different areas so that he was going to be my next leader. Then on a run I got surrounded by some basic zombies and I thought this will be fine, but then a feral snuck out of the bush and it was game over for poor old Thurston as he got his head smashed in. You really do get attached to these characters, and when one of them dies, especially one of your favourites, you really do feel it, and it makes the whole experience have a lot more impact. The Juggernaut Edition features 2 DLCs. Heartland sees you return to Trumbull Valley from the first game in a bespoke story-based adventure. The second DLC is Daybreak, a horde mode where you have to fight off wave upon wave of the undead. The graphics are a vast improvement, and the dynamic lighting and the game world generally just looks a lot better, a lot smoother, a lot more realistic. The menus also have been overhauled and the presentation is much slicker, smoother, so much more user-friendly to use. The sound and music is a lot more polished than in the first game. You can tell the budget here has increased greatly, and the voice acting again is very good. The music is sparse, but it does suit the situations and it just kind of fades in and out every now and again. Okay, what's good and what's bad? What's good? It's easy to pick up and play for an hour or two. The visuals and menu interface are greatly improved. The addition of new community features and the blood plague make for some more varied gameplay. The Permadeath System adds real depth to the experience, the 2 DLCs are well worth playing, and the co-op mode adds good replay value. What's bad? The gameplay loop can get tedious after a short session. It might be a bit too mundane for action fans. The environments still suffer from some glitching, and there isn't a character creator, but you can customize characters, I guess. So what's the verdict? State of Decay 2 Juggernaut Edition is a good quality zombie survival game that evolves and improves on the original. Graphically the game is a vast improvement, and the menus, gameplay options, they just feel more robust. The multiplayer is a great addition, and the Blood Plague and the community development elements definitely add a good new kind of dynamic. However, it's not a huge leap forward in terms of the overall quality. Yes, it is a better game than State of Decay 1, but there is still plenty of room here for improvement. It may not have the wow factor of other zombie survival games, but it's a steady and improving franchise that is definitely heading in the right direction. Perhaps a unique character creator would make for an even more personal experience, as the current characters are fairly generic. But overall, it's a good game that gives you plenty of freedom to play the game as you see it. You know, I enjoyed the first game. It had its flaws, but it was good. It was kind of a slow, grindy affair, but if you like zombie, realistic survival type dynamics, it was very good. This one felt the same, but with new features, but it is still a little bit like I can't play this for more than 2 to 3 hours at a time. Like after 2 hours, I'm kind of done, but every 2 hours I play it, I enjoy it. And that's the key. It's good, the developers listen, they make progress, they're listening to what the community want, and I'm sure State of Decay 3 will be great as well. So, with all that being said, my score for State of Decay 2 Juggernaut Edition is 8.5 out of 10. Okay, that was the review. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. This is Photography Gamer signing off. Thank you.